Hey guys, this is Josh,
And I'm Will.
and today on Ramblin Men, we are going to be talking about the elusive, the number one hide and seeker, Bigfoot.
He's got big feet,
Yeah, you know what they say about feet.
big shoes.
All right, so Bigfoot. For some reason, it's just been on my mind lately. I don't know really why. I mean, I was interested in it as a kid, you know, with cryptozoology, which is the study of unknown or mythical creatures that may or may not exist. Um, I was kind of into all that stuff as a kid, Loch Ness monster, things like that. But just recently, it's been on my mind, so I thought we'd ramble about it today.
I think a good choice. I mean, everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people have seen documentaries on Bigfoot, whether it's on Sci-Fi Channel, I know History Channel, Discovery have done stuff in
Mhm.
the past on it,
Yep.
and it's one of those things that, real or not, it gets you thinking. I'm not gonna lie, I live kind of in the woods, and if I saw a 8 foot hairy dude out back, let's just say there'd be a high pitched scream, and it'd be me running.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
No, but I think it's a real cool thing. I mean, you want to believe, at least I do, that something like that exists, and I think for a society as a whole, the whole world, that we have colonized and we live in so many parts of on this planet, that there's still so much space that are unexplored, uninhabited, that there could be something. You don't know.
So let's ask the question of you, Will. Do you believe in Bigfoot, or do you think it's just, a bear with mange that somebody just misidentified, or what?
So I think personally, I usually hedge my bets again on certain things when it comes to topics like this. I lean more towards I like to believe. I would say um, the chance of something like that being out there, why not? I mean, there was a great line from the movie Deep Impact with Jodie Foster when she was younger, and she asked her dad if there's, you know, life anywhere else in the universe, and he said, "Well, if there wasn't, sure be a whole, waste of space. It can't just be us. So, why can't something like that live in the deep woods of the northern part of this country, Canada, pretty much middle and eastern Russia? There's so much space that is not, you know, inhabited by people on a daily basis. Why not?
Okay. So you're not against it, but you're
No.
also one of those people that's like, I still need proof.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only problem is that the proof that we have currently is not the best. Obviously, the old film that everyone sees with, Bigfoot walking around near like the river or the creek or something from like 60 years ago.
Yeah, which
I,
was found out to be a hoax, right? They
yes,
they basically said, yeah, it's us in a gorilla suit.
yeah, which was, the way he was walking was pretty sketchy. I think the hardest part for me is in today's world with multimedia and the way we can make things look like something's there very easily. I think that's kind of the worry, that it could be faked. All right, so Josh, so now that kind of, I've talked about, where I see it. Obviously, you're talking about you've been dreaming about Bigfoot lately, which a little odd, but where do you kind of stand on this?
So here's um, how I see it. I one thing I believe in, and we will spend at least an episode, in my opinion, on it, talking about later, but UFOs, right? And mainstream people were like, "Oh, UFOs, you're crazy. There's no way."
Truth
Blah
is
blah
out
blah
there.
blah. Right, exactly. X Files.
Hmm.
So here's the problem. Well, UFOs are real because there are unidentified flying objects seen all the time. Sometimes they're identified, sometimes they're not. The same thing with Bigfoot. I think that um, I truly believe that the world is not like two-dimensional, right? So, and that's where you come into the phrase multi-dimensional or other dimensions. I think that there are layers to reality, and we only see a small bit of that. It's the same thing with our vision, right? We see like 1/2% of visible light, but there's an entire spectrum out there that exists. We just can't see it. I think the same thing's true of Bigfoot essentially, and reality as we know it, really. So that's I think Bigfoot is real. I don't think anybody has a good idea on what Bigfoot is.
Yeah, I mean, it just right identified it as a creature with large feet. I mean,
Right.
I- that's all we have so far. But like you talked about, cryptozoology, things like that to me have always been really neat because you identify creatures from, Earth's past, billions of years ago, and we have some really weird things that have lived on this Earth. I mean, we do now, right? We're
Yeah.
finding things in the depths of the ocean that are very awkward, really, weird, scary looking. Why can't that why can't that be on land? Just because we don't see it on a day-to-day basis doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah, I think it's the other thing that it's funny. You talk about weird animals like the woolly rhino,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
I
it's
saw
just
something like that a couple weeks ago. I was watching something, and they were talking about woolly mammoths. It had to do with like evolution of a couple different species, like how alligators came. They've basically been unchanged for millions of years, but where they came from before that. Whales used to be on. They have ancestors that were on land. Things like that. And they talked about a woolly rhino. I'm like, that's a screwed up animal right there, right?
yeah.
Just you're a rhino and just bunch of hair, no or fur, no big deal. Just roaming around some frozen tundras. It's like the only thing missing would be like a woolly hippo. I would love that
Just wait.
animal.
It's probably
I
out
would.
there. It's
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
probably out there, man.
we got the Jurassic Park scientists next gen working on trying to get in the amber and get some dinosaurs back, bring back the woolly rhino.
Yeah. Um, but getting back onto our ramblings about Bigfoot, there is one audio recording that I love. Okay, so I've watched enough Bigfoot stuff. I've seen the guys that on Discovery Channel Plus. They're like, "Oh God, there's something in the woods," and of course they never find it, or they get
Yes.
scared enough to leave before they actually see anything.
Hmm.
Things like that. Um,
Weren't those guys in Alaska or something? There was a
yeah,
group from
the
like years ago, like 10 years ago, they had a show that they walked around Alaska
they
looking
they've
for
got
Bigfoot.
they've got a new one out called Alaskan Killer Bigfoot. Go watch it.
Ooh, there you go.
Discovery Plus. There's a plug for Discovery Plus.
We
Again,
have Discovery Plus.
yeah. So it's a good show. Sarah watched it with me, ironically enough. But
Hey,
one of the best audio recordings, and we'll put it in the description below on who it was, but basically in the California redwoods kind of area, like Northern California, uh, in the 70s, there was a group of guys, and they would always go to this hunting spot, a campsite, and they basically started hearing uh, like things talking, but in a language that's not decipherable, screams, multiple directions. So they actually got a recorder and recorded it, uh, the audio of it, and it is the creepiest. It literally sounds like Native American language, but it's not.
well, okay, so real quick, because I'll probably go back to that last comment. They went to this campsite multiple times. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
multiple times.
So I'm just
And
gonna devil's advocate this real quick. I'm like, oh, I really love to go to this campsite. However, I keep hearing weird voices and screams in the middle of the night. I ain't going back to that campsite. Unless- I'm not.
well, see, that's the weird thing is like they
Oh
said
yeah, let's
it
go back.
stopped, They said it's not like they haven't heard it since the 70s. So it's, you know, the funny thing about it is for me, like I would be scared in the moment, but
Oh yeah.
the minute I got home, I would want to go back,
Well, your
you know?
drive to know what, you want to know what it is, right? And you're talking about the Native American piece. They have such a history and connection with the land that out of everything in this, country, of things I will not mess with, anything that's Native American related, whether it's, obviously the mounds, the burial mounds, or old homes, I mess with that stuff.
No.
That's some juju I do not want. I mean, I firmly believe that their connection to the earth is something beyond what Europeans had, or those from Far East Asia, before everyone migrated. Their connection is way beyond everything I see, and the way what they talk about their history and their culture. It's something deeper, and it makes you wonder, especially the ancestral Native Americans that were here before Europeans came over. Did they know something more that we didn't? To your point with the Bigfoot, did they have a connection to something like that, hundreds of years ago?
Well, the creepy thing about it, just continuing in that vein, is it's not just here, right? Um, they've got um, Canada, Russia is also
Mhm.
uh,
The Yeti.
a big Bigfoot area. But more importantly, Maine and Ohio, which are close to where Will and I live, are Bigfoot hotspots. Which you think about Ohio, for some reason I always think of Kings Island.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
like, there's a theme park there, but also Bigfoot.
yeah,
So
Bigfoot's walking around after he gets down to Kings Island. You can go up the road to Cedar Point, and ride some of the coasters up there. Take a trip to Toledo, maybe catch a game in Cincinnati or Cleveland. Not a state or a place you would think that would happen, or
right.
potentially could be. I would say like Colorado, Idaho, especially northern Idaho, and then that panhandle up there. Not a lot of people up there. A lot of woods, mountains. You would think perfect place, but nope. Ohio. All right, guys. You know, we want to see, what you guys feel, but the way I look at it, right now, what we see with Bigfoot, he's just beef jerky and soap commercials. And albeit it's some good beef jerky. It's some
And
good
good soap.
soap.
It's
Yeah.
some good soap.
So, but leave us a comment down the section below. Let us know what you guys think. Do you want to hear some more about it? Some more, maybe you guys have some information that we don't know about. Let us know in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe button. Thanks for rambling with us.
Thanks, guys.